And we're about a few feet away from the snake, and he just stops. You know, having the name Juan, I'm clearly not from here. I'm actually from Nicaragua. And I go there every year to visit family. A few years ago, my aunt thought it would be a good idea to go to the jungle. So we get to Nicaragua. We travel 7 hours away from civilization. We're greeted by Pedro, the owner. He says, "Bienvenido a Hotel Montecristo. We are so excited to have you here." And we get her to the horses, and Pedro was like, "Juan, I want you to meet your horse, Pepe." And Pepe is the smallest horse I've ever seen in my entire life. But there was no other horse, so I hop on Pepe, and he is struggling. He is using everything in his being to get his 87-pound frame through this jungle. And we got separated from the others because Pepe was starting to slow down. And out of nowhere, he just stops. Honestly, I thought he was going to wither away and die. And this was going to be an on-foot situation. But I look past his head. Guess what I see? Snake! And I'm trying to get Pepe to move. I'm doing everything I can to try and get him to move. I was like, "Pepe, let's go." And he is solid. He is not moving an ounce. He has developed this unbeknownst confidence that came out of nowhere, and out of nowhere, he just starts moving forward. And we're about a few feet away from the snake, and he just stops. He puts up one leg. And I'm like, it's about to go down. And I'm trying to get him to move still, and the snake's kind of looking at us a few feet away, pauses, and it slithers away. And in that moment, he strutted that little 87-pound frame back to the resort. And I love telling that story, but the reason I tell it is because it's a lot like life. I want you to raise the question within yourself of defining the snake in your life. That thing that keeps on coming up that it is time to face. Because here's what I know. Every single person in this room, student and faculty, has something that comes up that tries to get in their way, make them want to quit and turn around and walk away. And what I know to be true is defining that thing for you is the only way to be able to overcome it. True leadership is leaning into the things you're afraid of. True leadership is consistently choosing courage instead of fear. It takes courage to make a new friend. It takes courage to stand up for that person that you see on campuses isn't being done right. It takes courage to wake up a little earlier instead of late, to join that student group, to put yourself out there more than you thought that you could. Some of you think because of that one relationship that didn't go as planned that you're not good with other people. Some of you think because of that one presentation that didn't go as well as you thought it would, that you're not good in front of groups. When the reality is those are moments, not characteristics. And my personal belief is that we need to start seeing those moments for what they are. Moments, not characteristics that define us. All of us are carrying these stories that are imposed by other people, by friends, by family, by society, by Instagram. And what happens is when we are faced with a challenging situation, we approach it with all of that stuff. Start telling yourself better stories. Stories that you are enough, that you are charismatic enough, that you are courageous enough, that you aren't like them, and that's okay because you are like you. I believe when we stop believing the stories that we tell ourselves in our own heads and start telling ourselves new stories, stories that are actually aligned with who we are and who we would like to become, that is when we are able to change ourselves and change the people around us.